Hi, this is going to be a quick tutorial on Pathfinder. This is a mapping tool, and it's critical if you're going to use wormholes or if you want to know where the action is. It's a great way to share information with your corp mates, which leads to making lots of money, and I'll explain that shortly. First thing to do when you get here is to log in. This is secure. It goes through the Eve website using ESI. And then once you're logged in, you'll see a couple different maps up top. So I'm going to go over the UI real quick. In the top left, before we get to the maps, we've got a menu. If I click on the menu, you'll see a pop-out here where I'll get into the details on this shortly. But next to that, we have the character, so you can see which alt you have logged in. If you click on that, you can switch to different alts that you have registered on the website, and you can also open them in a new tab. Besides that, there's this little handy button here. This looks like an airplane, but it gives you map information, and this shows you where other people are in the corp. And this is really good if you're sitting here wondering, hey, where should I go and hang out? And so you could see, I'm sitting here in a wormhole. Bill is somewhere unknown. Valerie's in a Mar. It's not a ton of people logged in right now, but hopefully this tutorial will help get more people logged in and using this. And then you can also see a log of activity to see, what's changed or what's been added recently. And now getting into the rest of the top bar, we've got a little location tracker here. If you click on this, it'll take you to wherever your current location is on the map. And I can see that my current location is here in the top left because I'm in a wormhole. And I started in here, so it's not connected to anything. And you'll see that the highlighted system, the active system, has a little glow around it. There can only ever be one active system at a time. So if I select this one, it's now my active system. And you'll see a bunch of information changes. But if I go back to the system I'm in, I can find out a little bit of details about this. So looking down below, I'm in a wormhole right now. And this wormhole is, it's got a name. And also, if I highlight the name, it'll show you who found it. And next to it shows the difficulty. So this is a C2. You can also see the security level. So if you were in a high sec or low sec system, this would also show you what security level the system is in. I can see how many planets are in this wormhole, as well as all the different types of planets. I can see that this wormhole will always have two connections statically. It'll always have a connection to another C1 wormhole, and it will always have a connection to a high sec. Now, this is all very useful information, and if I want to leave notes about this, I can click this little pencil icon and say, hey, this is the wormhole colony. And so we make money here. And anybody that comes and sees this wormhole on the map and clicks on it, they'll see this little note I left. So it's a great way to leave intel. Now, if I wanted to as well, I can add the signatures of the wormhole to this signatures on the bottom, and I would do that by simply having the system selected and copying the signatures from my probe scanner in Eve, and then just pasting, hitting the paste button. If there's old signatures down here, so like if I click on Armada right now, you'll see there's some old signatures that were created about 1 day ago, and they're highlighted in yellow. Before I paste mine in, I would want to click on this button here. It's called Lazy Delete. It looks like two arrows going back and forth. And as long as that button's on, next time I paste my probe scanner in here, it'll delete the old signatures that don't belong. So it's an easy way to clean things up. Now you'll notice here, I've got a little bit more details on this system now that I'm in Armada. I'm seeing that it's in, it's in domain region. It's friendly right now, and this is the status that scouts have marked on the map. The name of the system, the security, number of planets, the faction it belongs to. I can also see this jump tracker. And this jump tracker is interesting because it'll show you the activity. So actually, there's been a lot of people moving through Armada right now. 70 in the last hour. So that means that, if I'm doing anything in this system, I should be careful. So if I were to go to a different one like High has also had a spike in the last hour, probably because it's prime time, but this has only had 21 jumps, so a lot less people. So you can kind of get a feel for how busy a system is. And now another important thing is ship kills. So if I go up to the Malal loop, and I click on Malal, I can see ship kills, and there was a 1 kill here in the last day, and it was a ship, not a pod. And so that tells me, you know, what kind of activity is going on. This is a great way to check if there's like campers or a fight going on in the system. And you can also see NPC kills. So in Aurora, the NPC kills are quite high, and so there's a lot of people doing raiding and fighting, you know, combat sites. So besides that, you'll notice this kill board here on the right. If there's any kills found in an area in the last 24 hours, they'll show up here. So let me see if I can find one for you. I'm not seeing any kills show up here. Surely someone's died. Well, anyway, this works well for... Oh, here we go. Yeah, so you can see if there's ever been recent kills, they'll pop up here, and you can see what kind of action's been going on. You can see who's been in the system, maybe find out who owns it. So a lot of useful information there. Getting over to the right side of the screen, we've got this Thera connection tab. This is great if you want to get into Thera. A Thera wormhole is just a wormhole that's connected to a lot of other wormholes. So it's a great way to go exploring for money and stuff. And if so, what you can do here is you can sort by region, and you can see that in Conid, which is near where we live, or in Domain or something, like Conid Prime or Ham. You could go to any of these systems and you could get the anomaly signature here, and you can take that anomaly to get inside of Thera. So that's a cool place to check out if you ever want. And then if you're ever clicking on a system, so if I click on Noftaku, you can see the structure list here, and you'll see that what kind of structures are in the system. So if you want to know where NPC stations are, like Sarida has no NPC stations, but Mamankanar, we've got an NPC station. Tashabia, we've got a ton of NPC stations. Very cool. And so, you know, really easy way to get some info on what's there. So last but not least, we've got a couple options here. In the top right, you have the connection status on the map, which is online. We have map connection tracking. You want this to be on, so it automatically tracks where you're moving on the map. And then if you go to this map tab here, you'll open up another menu with more settings. And this can give you things, which I'm going to show you that are cool, called grid snapping and magnetizing, right? So this, I'm going to turn off grid snapping in a second, but grid snapping allows you to move things around and have them snap nice and cleanly. So that looks nice, right? Rather than having it all be, you know, off-centered. So if you're OCD like me a little bit, or want things to be a little perfect, you can use grid snapping. But an even cooler feature, in my opinion, is magnetizing. So if magnetizing is on and you're moving systems around, it will bump other systems and move them out of the way just in case it's a little cluttered. That way you don't have so much trouble with things not fitting. So definitely be aware of those two features. There's also really cool tools here called the region label. Region label will show you where you're at if you look at the regions under a system name. And then my favorite is signature overlay. Signature overlay will show you information about wormholes here. So we can see that here we have two wormholes. One has a red connection, which means this connection has not been marked in Aurora right now. And if I were to go to Aurora, I can see that there is there's no wormhole in this list that's connected to J173. So we don't really know how to get in there. But this one here, we do know how to get in because it's got a green arrow. And then there's other cool things you can find out here. Like if I were to right click on this, it's kind of hard to see, but on the end of a connection in a wormhole, there's a small circle. You can right click and you can mark it bubbled. And this bubble on the map will show you that it's not safe to go in there. And you can set that on both ends of the connection, right? Well, you can't set it in high sec. But yeah, and then other things you can set on the connection would be if you right click on this, you can set it to end of life. So if you're ever at a wormhole and you find out that it's end of life and you right click and set it to end of life, then the map can get rid of it automatically in 4 hours when it's dead. You can also, on this connection, you can set to the mass status. If it's been reduced or critical, you can mark that. So a critical wormhole will look red. So people are like, oh shoot, I should not go in there. That looks dangerous. So this one here, let's say this is reduced. So we know, okay, that's not really, I could maybe go in there as a scout, but it's not really super safe. Other things you could set are the ship size. This is important, so people know what type of ships they can bring. And if you ever want to detach it, that's how you get rid of it right there. To move around on the map, you can hold space and click to drag. This will take you around the map. You can hold control and click drag to select many systems if you want to delete a bunch of wormholes. And yeah, I think that's about it for how to use the map. If you have any other questions, reach out to me, Artemis in game, or on Discord, and I'd be happy to help you out.